All right. On behalf of Resonance Junior Colleges, Hyderabad, I extend a very warm welcome to each and every one of you present here today at the Career Clarity Conclave and Expo, a platform designed to shape your dreams, guide ambitions, and open doors to limitless possibilities. Today is not just an event, it's a turning point. A space where questions meets answers and where students step closer to their future careers with confidence. We have with us distinguished educators, industry experts, counselors, and thought leaders who are here to share insights that can truly transform your journey ahead. For the students, this is your moment. For the parents, this is reassurance. And for everyone present here, this is inspiration. My name is Rahul Anand and I'm going to be your MC today, and I extend a very warm welcome one more time to this lovely morning here in Hyderabad. Are we all ready to get started, everybody? Fantastic. So we request you to be seated, be calm, and listen to every single thing happening on this stage out here, because this can shape a very bright future for you today. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let's get started. We would like to start our event today with a lamp lighting ceremony. To do the honors, I would like to invite on stage Purnachandra Rao sir, our director. Can we have a big round of applause, everybody? Along with Markande sir, Malesh sir, Jha sir, Madhu sir, and all our zonal heads, along with our guests, to please join us on stage for the lamp lighting ceremony. Let's have a big round of applause, everybody. Can I request our guests also to join us on stage for the lamp lighting ceremony? Let's have an auspicious beginning to this wonderful morning today, which is going to be shaping your future ahead. This is going to be a very, very special and important day in your career today. So stick around, listen to what's happening on the stage, and let's get this event started with the lamp lighting ceremony. Let's have a big round of applause, everybody. That would mark the Career Clarity and Conclave and Expo here in Hyderabad officially open with the blessings of the Almighty. Thank you so very much, our dignitaries, for doing the honors. I would now like to request Purnachandra Rao sir, our director, to please join us on stage and take us through what Career Clarity Conclave and Expo is all about. Let's have a big round of applause as I welcome our director, sir, Purnachandra Rao sir, on stage. Come on, everyone. Let's invite our director, Purnachandra Rao sir, with a big round of applause.
A very good morning to all of you. Warm welcome to all the parents and all the students to Career Clarity Conclave. So usually your preparation might have started 2 years back. For some of you, the preparation might have started 6-7 years back also. Say suppose especially in Telugu states, competitive exam preparation starts much earlier. So some people start preparing for their dream from 6th class, some people start from 7th class, some people start from 8th, some people start after 10th class. So there are multiple dimensions to this. So all this for one big day in your life when you want to actually achieve your dream seat or dream college, whatever it is. So like I keep telling, in the entire JEE preparation or NEET preparation, the most important day is not exam day. The most important day is counseling day. So after all your hard work of years of hard work, when you're finally entering into the counseling day, when you are choosing the group, so when you are about to pick your options, so with all your hard work, what is the best that you are getting and how you are going to choose and how it is going to transform the rest of your life, that is a very, very important decision. So for you, in the world of engineering and medicine where plenty of careers are available, so it is not your parents' generation where only 5-6 options are available. In every stream, there are 50-60 options available. More options means more opportunities. At the same time, more confusion also. So it is very important for you to know what is there inside that particular stream or career before taking that particular decision. So with that as an objective, so today we started the grand session of Career Clarity Conclave. We named it as Career Clarity. The reason because, so usually suppose any engineering student, like the way immediately after your 10th class, everybody is taking MPC, you also have taken MPC. Everybody is writing JEE, you are also writing JEE. So in many cases, we follow this herd mentality. Similarly, there are many chances that you will be generally taking some or other group which you are getting in that particular counseling. That is not the right way to take a decision. So there is an equal opportunities in every stream that you should know about all streams, whether it is engineering or medicine. So then you choose like what is suitable for you, because it is not just about placement. It is all about fitment of the role as well. Say if you are dreaming to be a software engineer, whether you as a person will be suitable to that type of role or not. Whether if you want to become a civil engineer, you as a person, whether you are suitable to that role or not. That is the core objective of this Career Clarity Conclave. Throughout this day, we are going to have a series of sessions. So some of the sessions you can attend on here physically. If you missed any session because of your schedules, you can watch this online also. So today we are going to start, the first session is going to address about the careers in the computer science field. So we are going to have experts from the field. So we are going to have people from IIIT, people from BITS, and also people from Infosys going to address on the different dimensions of the career in the computer science. Who should take computer science? Who should not take computer science? If you are taking computer science, what are the measures that you should take in the next 4 years to have a great career? Then the second session is going to be about the core engineering. So who should take core engineering disciplines like EC, EEE and all these things. And the third session is going to be about emerging engineering fields like artificial intelligence, robotics and all these things. Who should consider those options? What are the careers available? And the fourth session is exclusively for medical students, for people who are, what are the options available in MBBS, BDS and all other allied courses of the medical. And the fifth session for the people who already gave up on engineering and medicine. So who don't want to study engineering and medicine, what are the other options available? In addition to this, in the same complex, we are also going to have a expo with almost like 60 different top-level national and the state-level universities. So there also the career counseling experts are available. Once you finish this particular session, you can visit the university of your choice, try to understand more details about course, which course you want to go through, what is going to be the curriculum and all these things. So make use of this opportunity. So this information is going to be very, very useful. So don't take your career decisions in a hurry, because there are people who are taking computer science and struggling. There are people who are taking civil school, civil and succeeding also. So it is very, very important for you to know what is your capabilities and which group suits you. And at the same time, it is also important to consider the facts like location, say which location you want to study, and your comfort for residential or a day scholar, your comfort and flexibility for a global exposure, relocation, all these factors also you need to consider. In addition to all these things, one more very, very important thing, financial affordability also matters. So because whenever you're choosing any career, it is an investment. So as a student, you also should know, like say, suppose if you're studying some course, finally when you're getting campus placement, or finally when you're getting into a career, whether it is worth investing that much time and that much money or not also, you are a responsible person now, you are about to pass 12th class, you are matured enough to be participant in the decision. So be vocal, express to your parents what is your interest, then only they can help you or we can help you. If you don't speak out, then we will assume that you like everything. So be participative in the discussion whenever you have any questions. Today is a platform where you will get an opportunity to meet hundreds of experts if you speak up. Otherwise, you will be one among the other participants who is just listening. So use this opportunity wisely. And one more time, warm welcome to all of you. And my sincere appreciation to all the team members and the academic team experts of Resonance for putting up such a nice show. I'm sure like this day is going to be memorable to all of you. Thank you so much.
Let's have a big round of applause. Thank you so much, Purnachandra Rao, sir, for those wonderful insights. So you now know what's about to come. We're very, very structured and a very important day for each one of you here today. I would now like to call DK Jha, sir, our Central Academic Head for JEE, to join us on stage and speak a few words. Let's welcome him with a big round of applause, everybody.
Respected Hota sir, Madam, Sushmitha Madam, and other dignitaries, friends, many parents and students. Very good morning to you all. This Career Clarity Conclave, this is one of the most unique and most concerned initiative of Resonance. Being, or you can say that as a part of this academic structure of Resonance, I personally observed that not only hard work is important, at the same time, the clarity of the goal, clarity of the way to achieve that one is very important. Although in this age of Google Guru, everyone is thinking that lots of information is there. So no need to worry. Whenever, whatever information we have, we need, we will get from the internet, from the Google, because that has answer for everything. But honestly speaking, you know, the logic of Google Guru, that is also biased. Whatever you think, whatever you ask, you will get the answers accordingly. You will not get certainly the wider perspective of your potential, what you basically deserve, what you have. To understand your potential, your teachers might have helped you. And again, you need to see inside and further. If you need any help, then certainly they're the concerned experts only can help you. This Career Clarity Conclave is one of the very sincere, responsible initiative to help you out regarding this. What exact answer, authentic answer, what you cannot find here and there, you will find here. Because the guests who are invited here, those are basically very legendary persons, having authority on their part, and certainly will be unbiased, will be giving you that kind of insights that will be very appropriate and effective for you. I will not take much time. Today's session is very tight. So I request you all understand the purpose of this program. This is a very serious program. Listen carefully. Pay proper attention on everything. Keep your questions, if you are getting something, note down somewhere. At the end of the session, you will be getting chance to ask those questions directly also. Moderator will be helping you, will be representing you, and will be having a certain set of questions which are basically from you. Those questions will be asked, and still if some questions are left, certainly you can ask directly to our guests. So I wish you happy learning. Enjoy the day in this session. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir, for those inspiring words. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's now time for us to introduce you to our very first keynote speaker. In the first session today, we have with us somebody very, very special. He had a very pretty unusual upbringing with an ability to linking wires of industry, academia, and product R&D are the jumper cables in the startup guru Ramesh Loganathan's arsenal. That makes him IIIT Hyderabad's most sought-after face of innovation. Professor Ramesh Loganathan grew up on an island in Sriharikota, living amongst the rocket scientists, and where a field trip of school meant a ringside seat to a satellite launch. With his father working in ISRO, his early years were nurtured in an extremely engaging ecosystem that defined his worldview. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Professor Ramesh Loganathan, IIIT Hyderabad Dean, our very first keynote speaker on stage with a big round of applause. Can I request Mohit sir to please join us on stage and present a bouquet to Professor Ramesh Loganathan. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
No formality, no bouquets, it's okay. It's okay.
I think Professor Ramesh Loganathan would like to start his speech first. He's waiting to address, and let's get this started. Let's have a big round of applause, everybody. Come on.
So good morning, and nice to be here on a Sunday morning amidst all this, an auditorium full of young students. And so yes, like I was introduced, I grew up in Sriharikota. Have you been to Sriharikota? How many of you have been to Sriharikota? Okay, small number. Unfortunately, it's not easy to go there, but they do encourage school trips. I mean, so if a school were to ask, they do encourage school trips, and so please ask. I know you're in 12th. The last thing on your mind is a visit to Sriharikota. But it's an amazing place, an island. If you don't know, it's an island. And because it's rocket launch and such, so it has to be a little isolated just in case something untoward were to happen. So far, never happened, but and then also it's also a national important place to keep it little secure and safe. So it's an island, beautiful island. And I used to think until I was in maybe 7th or 8th that the whole country is full of engineers, because that's a little world that I had, right? You go turn around, it's an engineer or somebody technical, right? Most of the island was technical, the technicians or scientists or engineers and such. And only much later I realized that it was an extremely privileged opportunity that I had to grow up on that island amidst all those wonderful scientists. And the whole island was kind of connected, right, in a way. When a launch fails, in early days there were a lot of failures, right? When a launch fails, the whole island goes into a grieving mode, right, for the next couple of days. You'll see long faces everywhere. And likewise, when a launch succeeds, I mean, it's like the biggest festival of the year, that whole day. Beautiful sight, beautiful experience. And so naturally, when I was growing up, engineering was kind of the default, right? I mean, unfortunately, even today, engineering or medicine is the default. Just a lot more engineers today than at that time. At the time, there were not that many engineering seats. So reasonable number of students will become going to medicine, engineering, and few other disciplines. So I didn't even think much. 10th, like I believe most of your MPC students, and I didn't even have a choice. We were one of the early batches. My whole class, 12th class, we had 8 students in the class, right? So it was a very small class and not much choice. So CBSE, we had M by BC. And so I didn't have to decide anything. After 10th, I had to just get into, that was the only option available, 11th and 12th. And no thinking even. And because whole island filled with engineers, so somewhere, and I was not a big fan of zoology. I mean, animals, plants, botany I'm very happy, right? But not zoology, so not medicine. It was very clear. I didn't like cutting animals, and so no way I'm going to go into medicine. And even engineering did something, got some decent rank in MSET those days. And the way I chose where I joined, I'm just going to take 10 minutes to describe, I mean, how we make choices, and hopefully you learn from others' thinking, and you do better thinking than what people like me did. And and I grew up in Sirigota. My extended family was in Chennai. So I haven't seen much of, I mean, I haven't even been in a train other than the 2-hour ride from Surulpet to Chennai. I haven't even been anywhere much out, right? One time we went to Bangalore. That's it. All my life, the farthest I've gone is like the 6-7-hour train ride from Chennai to Bangalore. And so I haven't seen much outside other than my Chennai and my village near Chennai and Sirigota. And so when my rank came, counseling was happening in Hyderabad. And my choices were, I mean, naturally, engineering was like, so not even thinking much. CS was still not a big thing, just started in 1 or 2 places, so there was no computer science as such. And EC was the preferred one. And can you believe 2 years before I joined, the top rankers in the state picked civil, right? And including in where I went also, right? Top rankers picked civil 2 years before. And in 2 years it changed. Like by 84, top rankers were picking EC. I mean, it's amazing how these things change sometimes. It's not like suddenly civil became any less important or EC became more important in 2 years at least. It didn't change so much in 2 years, but perceptions change so quickly. And if you don't get EC, then there was EE, right? Electrical and Electronics Engineering. And so my choice was EC in Anantapur. And I said, where is Anantapur? Then somebody said, you go to Tirupati, and from Tirupati you have to take overnight bus to Anantapur. I said, God, that's too far. So no Anantapur. I didn't even know where it is. And those are not the days of Google. You can't just go open a map and see where Anantapur is. So then my final choices were electrical engineering in SV University Tirupati and REC Warangal. Those days REC, now NIT Warangal. And I was told by some of my, we had very few seniors, our batch was 8. The previous batch had 6, right? One of them happened to, was doing engineering somewhere, and he was the go-to person for any information, right? Whatever he says, that's the encyclopedia for us, right? And he said, in Warangal, ragging is very, very intense. I said, God, okay. Overnight train was okay because that train, the same train that I used to go to Chennai is the one that comes to Warangal. So that was, there's some familiarity, Charminar Express and such. But ragging was intense. I said, no way. So finally I picked SV University Tirupati because Anantapur was, I didn't know how to get to Anantapur those days, seemed too far, and Warangal ragging was intense. Now, that's how I made my one of the most critical life choice, right, in terms of where I should do engineering. And right after joining engineering, it was good fun. I'm sure you'll all have fun. That's one of the most precious years. When you're there, you may not realize, but when you pass out of college, you'll realize that those are the most precious, beautiful years, right, growing up, anybody's life, right? We're discovering ourselves. There's that beautiful independence that you have, whether you're in a hostel. I was in a hostel, so I had absolute independence. But even if you're not in hostel, between 8 in the morning and 7, 8 in the evening, you're absolutely by yourself, right? No watchful parents, and right, it is very enjoyable, and the friends and the whole experience. And somewhere in the second year, I realized that I like mechanical more. So I used to hang out with my friends, with a small group, like the whole batch was only about 130, 140 students, and you're close to everybody in your hostel, which was in my case around 40, 50. And till date, my wing 15 students, 15 of my friends in my wing continue to be my closest friends, right, wherever they are in the world, those 15. So that's the bonds form, and while we're all close, I used to like mechanical more. I used to hang out a lot with them. And I just liked machines, and then it took me some time to realize I actually like machines. I love machines, and maybe I should have done mechanical, but it's too late, right? But I used to hang out with them. When they did a South India tour, I went with them. I enjoyed every factory visit. It was a beautiful experience, but I can't do much about it. And I finished, and I was thinking I'll go to US for masters. And it seemed too expensive, and maybe it's a needless burden, though my parents never complained. I'm sure they would have happily sent me if I chose to go. But I didn't want to burden them with that financial. It was not easy those days, right? It was a very significant part of their savings would have to go into sending me to US if I had chosen to go. So I just written GATE. GATE was very big at the time, and most people, because campus placements were not, very, very little campus placements those days. So GATE was more or less, you get into an IIT or a better institution, and then those placements will help you get somewhere. So that used to be the thing, right? From non-IIT, next rung of colleges. And GATE was big in my college, but I was never that academically inclined. I did okay in academics, right? But not because I was inclined. I don't take pride in that, but I was not, unfortunately. And because everybody was writing GATE, without any preparation, I decided to go and write GATE that day. Because the whole hostel was going to go write the exam. And I had applied, but I was not even going to write the exam. And decided to go write the exam and got some decent kind of score when the score came. And instantly, as an electrical student, one of the subjects I picked was thermodynamics. Because I was so unprepared, it didn't matter what I picked, right? And because I liked, I don't know, somewhere physics, mechanical, something came into play, I got a decent score and did my master's. And anyway, I call it the conveyor belt, right? You're on the belt and it takes you where it takes you. You're not even thinking, right? Out of school, 10th, you get into MPSC, you get into engineering, which college doesn't matter. You get into some college, you maybe do masters, get into a job. I was on the conveyor belt, and of course, my first job was in Ooty. So can you believe? Those days, and all people hired from campus. So the hostel atmosphere was there, all fresh grads hired. And my first job was in Hota, an IT company that was based in Kunur. And beautiful experience, and then got some project, went for a short time, 2 years, came back. And then it struck me, what am I doing with my life, right? There was not much work to do. We had fun 6-7 months during training and such. Then there was not much work even in the US when I was there. I was in IBM, and this was before IBM had the shake-up. And for the whole 9 months, I barely did maybe 1 month's work. That's all I was given to do. Most of the time was nothing to do. So I came back and said, no, this is not okay. I need to do something. So first time I made a choice. And Infosys was still very, very small, in one small building at the time in 91, before it just took off. So I went, got an offer in Infosys, and then one of my friends, classmates, was in a small company. Those days, they ported Unix onto Indian hardware. So if you know operating systems, imagine how many people even understand, how many of, you're in 12th, you would not know. But understanding operating systems was itself a big deal those days. And this company was porting Unix onto Indian computers, machines from Wipro and HCL and such. And she said, you like it, come here. So I went, I got that offer also, and then I picked that company. I said, no, I want to do some good work. So beautiful experience, 2.5, 3 years, some very good work. Then of course, again, I jumped onto the conveyor belt, right? The US bug bit, mid-90s, and then went out to the US. Again, did something for a couple of years, and suddenly one of my friends was in Bay Area, if you know databases, it's one of the database companies those days, big database company, like Oracle today. And so he said, come, because I had worked in databases earlier. And then I went there, I loved it. I was there for 4 years in the company. And so second time I got to work on a good product. And then we want to come back always, so we didn't apply for green card. And 2000 we came back. And I came back to join a startup here. It's been very good after that, right? It's been, and then I realized that I'm not ever going to get on the conveyor belt, right? I'm not going to get on that belt that is just, everybody is on that belt and it goes where it goes, right? So I started, and since then I haven't applied for a job even, though I've changed things 3 times. It just happened. The startup got acquired, so it was a US company, so I was setting the India labs. And after that, early when I moved to Hyderabad, I got connected to IIIT. And that's one of my most cherished associations in my life, right? 2002, I got a chance, and then like enjoyed it. And within a year, I was made adjunct faculty. And I was teaching there for 14 years before I moved as regular faculty end of 16, about 10 years back. And so it's, like I said, it's one of the longest associations ever in my life. Like it's already 25 years since I'm associated with IIIT. And that got me into academics. And then on the other side, like startups started very early days. I was working in a startup, but not so much of a startup environment those days. And we started machines, I like construction machines, right? And when there was a crane those days, now you see cranes everywhere, those big construction cranes. In 2005, 6, 7, there were still relatively few. When I see it lifts itself, can you believe it? That crane lifts itself, right? There's a telescopic part at the top where it goes up. They put another link, bolt it, and then the whole mechanism moves one floor up. 10 feet at a time, that crane can lift itself. Only to set it up on the ground, a big crane comes to assemble it. Once it's assembled, from the 3rd, 4th floor height, which is where the initial height would be, up to 40, 30, 40, whatever height the crane is going to, it lifts itself. Anyway, I used to love it, but it's okay. I still love construction machines. I mean, I indulge many of my interests. Yes, I wish I was a mechanical engineer, but otherwise I'm okay. But the important thing is to experience. Only when you experience, you know what you like. Now, given that, when you really don't have much of experiences, so you don't have much of strong preferences yourself. Some will have. Like I know this friend of mine, very close friend, his daughter told when she was in 7th or 8th, right, that I want to do marine biology. Right, she loves all kinds of sea life. And like in 7th, 8th, at 7th, 8th, all of us, right, we see kids as kids, we did it and all the kids do it. But those interests keep changing. 5th class, I like something, 6th something else, 7th something else, which is okay. As they discover, that's very normal. This kid didn't change. 7th class, sea life, and they said, okay, fine, sea life. And they used to get her books and such. 8th, she went and did something somewhere in a small internship. 9th, she went, there's some ocean studies, if I remember right, it's somewhere in Orissa. There's an Ocean Studies Institute in Orissa. She went and did a summer internship there. 9th. 10th, she went to US. And 11th, she did an internship in Stanford, which is one of the best marine biology kind of institutions in the world, meaning the center there is one of the best ones in the world. And she went to Stanford, and 12th, she got into Stanford marine biology, and she did her 4 years. Straight, she got PhD admission in UC San Diego. San Diego has the best marine biology institute in the world, right? The best. And they have a private sea, right, adjoining this center, which runs the Marine Biology Institute that they have. It's a 2 kilometers beach and 2 kilometers in. It's a preserve, it's a marine preserve. They have beautiful wildlife, I mean marine life in that area. It's a marine preserve, and it's owned by the university. I mean, it's that good university. I mean, they're the foremost research institution in the world for marine biology. And she's doing a PhD straight out of no masters, undergrad and straight PhD admission. And some are fortunate that they discovered early on and that stayed, right? Most of us are not. We keep discovering. So if you haven't discovered what you want to do, it really doesn't matter at some level, right? You have to do engineering. Or these days, our society will expect you to do engineering, by and large. And most of you, I'm told, are MPC students. So all of you would be expected to do engineering. But my belief is any undergrad is good. Foundation, education doesn't need a purpose. That strong near-term purpose. Education is long-term, right? At IIIT, we believe, I don't know if we are doing it or not, but we believe we are preparing our students for the last job, not the first job. First job is a skill-based job, right? But we would like to believe we are preparing our graduates for the last job in their life, not first job. And what are the skills you need for a last job is very different from what you need for the first job. Learning to learn. I mean, as learning to learn is a big part of, right, growing in life. If you learn something, then that skills may be applicable for the next 3 to 5 years, especially in the software world, computer science world. Things change, technologies change, right? 3, 4 years back, who would have thought of ChatGPT, Gen AI, and OpenAI and such, right? Now, 4 years later, that is the mantra. Now, so if you don't learn to learn, then you can't survive as things shift. So learning to learn is a big skill, right? And being able to think about self and such is a big skill. So we try, I mean, right, we believe at the end of 3rd semester, they're Infosys ready. Right, actually, they can crack the Infosys test and interview at the end of 3rd semester in IIIT. There are 5 more semesters of the undergrad program. So we have a different structure. I mean, especially we want to do this, but and we keep trying. But the hope is they discover, but the foundational education needs no such narrow purpose not required, which means that if you're doing engineering at some level, any engineering is okay, right? I mean, the assumption is that most of you like physics and or math, right? That is a fundamental assumption here. You should not be doing engineering if you don't like physics or math, right? And if you like physics or math, then any version of it is okay at some level. It's a foundational education. Yes, the jobs are dependent on what you do in the undergrad, but then also it's not like, especially these days with all these flavors of computer science, if we had the choice at IIIT, we would have called it just a Bachelor of Engineering. But then unfortunately we had to give the computer science label, because that's what UGC and AICT and other recognize those labels. If not, we would have just allowed to say like Bachelor of Engineering with especially we are organized research centers, right? We don't have departments. We primarily focus only on IT. So we don't have departments. We only have about 23 research centers. Every area of computer science has a research center at IIIT. And even undergrad students do, most of them get into research honors. So they work in one of those research areas. So we would like to call it Bachelor of Engineering with research honors in, say, NLP, natural language processing, or computer vision. That's how we would like to call it, but again, government recognizes computer science. So in other places also, all these flavors of computer science, right, which is one of what I'm told all of you would be grappling with, actually they don't matter, right? In my belief, any engineering is good, right? But okay, computer science or electronics. Computer science or electronics is good. They're very, very kind of related. If you look at interesting opportunities, right, they're in the intersection, more in EC than in CS, right? It's slowly shifting. Today, even in our own campus, some of the best jobs are the semiconductor companies, right? The Intels, the Microns, Silicon Graphics, right? I mean, Silicon Labs, and these are the companies, or Qualcomm. They are offering amazing salaries, right? Because they need very, very good engineers. So, and there's a whole revival, right, of the momentum, even as a nation, as we, like, you must have heard this term already, sovereign technologies, right? We don't want to be dependent on key technologies from other countries. Anybody can turn the tap off, and suddenly we are stuck with something where we can't even work if somebody turns it off, because any country companies come under their country laws, and a country can switch off any technology at any point. So it's been pushed towards sovereign tech, and semiconductor and electronics and hardware is one area where there's a lot of push. But EC or CS with a foundation degree, these are fairly interchangeable, right? I mean, if you get the analytical skills, you get some foundational knowledge, it's okay. When I say EC and CS is interchangeable, then can you imagine those 5 different flavors of CS? So it's just a market play. Very few institutions have faculty that can justify those sub-areas, with CS and data sciences, or CS and AI, or right, CS and right, any of those combinations. So you should look at them as CS degree. When you pick any of those is okay. What is more important is look for places where the faculty is good. That is important, right? Can you pick places where the faculty is good? That's more important, right? And you don't have to go by all CS variations are the same. When it comes to, right, this I'm addressing more the parents in the room, because parents unfortunately tend to decide these things for our kids. And my father I had the privilege of my parents allowing me to pick. He was there with me, but he didn't say much. I mean, like, they didn't, and like for my kids, my daughter, when she was in 10th, she said, look, 11th, you leave me alone. I will just do something. 12th, I will take seriously. We said, okay. And what do you want to do? She picked some combination. She was in the CBSE school. There was maths and physics, but not chemistry. She picked something else. And we're okay. Then end of 11th, I told her, look, by start of 12th, if you don't pick, you will do engineering in Hyderabad. I said, like, unfortunately, there's a default, right? I said, if you don't know what you want to do in life, become an engineer. That's how bad engineering is, okay? And like a fairly liberal parent that allowed my kids to do a lot by themselves, I also told the default is engineering. I'm okay, I will support anything you want to do. I told her, if what you pick, there is no money in it, I'll even financially support you all your life. But your heart should be in it, right? But if you don't know what you want to do in life, become an engineer. Right, I'm just telling it to all the parents. That's how bad engineering is when it comes to the matters of heart and passion. And she said, no engineering. I said, but that's in your hands. Either you tell me by start of 12th what you want to do, or you'll prepare for engineering. And she hated engineering. She hated math mainly. And then she suddenly said, I will do architecture. And, but then she said, I also want to write the fashion technology exam. And she cracked NIFT exam, and she got, I think, all the 6 NIFT she had admission. And, but she said, I won't join NIFT. I said, then why do you write NIFT? No, I just want to write. I mean, sometimes very hard to understand, right? And then she joined architecture. And a year later, she said, I won't be an architect.
Sir.
Now, I said, but it's a 5-year course. It's not 3 years or 4 years. Architecture is 5 years. I said, why do you pick this if you don't want to be an architect? It's a 5-year course, not 3 or 4 years. And she said, it's okay. I will do it, but I'm not going to be an architect. And then right out of college, as in the final year, she and her friend decides very hard to work for architects. And my wife is an architect. Her mom is an architect. And she worked for a large company, and she worked for a small company in those 1 year of final year when they have to work with an architect. She didn't like both experiences. She said, no, I don't want to work for anybody. And 7 friends, all out of college, decided to start a design firm. And they're at it now. They graduated 10 years back, and they have a nice firm. They employ 40, 45 people. They don't make much money, right? She says, like, after all these years, I'm barely making $1 lakh a month. But she's very happy, right? And they're very happy that between the 6 of them now, they have employed about 45 designers, architects and designers. It's a design house. They don't do just architecture, they do all kinds of design. Now, so, but most of parents, you should allow your kids to choose, right? They're already here, right? At least you have de-risked. They've chosen to be in the engineering line, right? So allow them to pick what they want to pick now, right? So the primary basis to pick, right? The primary basis to pick is the faculty in the college and the peer group, right? Are the other students joining? What is the background of those students, right? Very hard to figure out, right? Only thing we might know is like what was their MSET rank or maybe an intermediate score at most. But look beyond that. That's okay. There's one indication, but not the only indication. Like in our system, like you put a robot to sit in Chaitanya and Arena, they will crack the MSET, right? It is, so you don't need to look for people that enjoy what they're doing. That's my suggestion to the kids. Parents, allow the kids to pick, right? Any engineering is okay. Any IT-related engineering is okay. Like EC, instrumentation also is okay, right? The big opportunity 4 years from now, I'm sure the trend is already there, will be in the intersection of EC and computing, right? If you do that and do well, see, if you just do what the university system, we're sitting in the campus, this university is the one that's regulating all the engineering colleges in the state. I was on this, the board of governors here, so I know, I mean, we all know JNTU well, I know JNTU very, very well. University system, when you have 200, 250 colleges, it is designed for the kind of the average or even the below average of institutions, and like, so which means it's not the best structure. So you just do the university exams is not good enough. You need to do more than that. By yourself, go try to do things, build things, do internships. Not easy, but if you're in, so far, anybody that's reached out to me asking for internship, I haven't said no. It's not like I can take hundreds of students. The reason I could afford not to say no is because no more than 10 ask me for internship in a year from other engineering colleges. And like, so you only have to ask, you'd never know. The worst is going to be a no, right? Somebody's going to say no, like it's okay. That's the worst response you can get. No, I can't take you. So you have to ask. And so that is my suggestion. Take any engineering is okay, right? Don't worry about sub types of CS. Any CS is okay, right? If you want CS. But look for the college, look for the faculty there, where there are good teachers, and where there are good peer group that are not just rankers. They should be more than rankers. People with varied interests. Find such colleges. That's my kind of the message I would leave all of you with. And to the kids in the room, I mean, I'm a parent myself, right? And I'm a grandparent now. Now, I can tell you this much. It doesn't matter what the parents think. It doesn't matter what they want you to do in life. If you really want something, it's a question of when and not if will they agree or not. If you really like something with your heart, you insist, parents will agree. Because no parent will have the heart to say no to something that you have your heart in. But you need to convince them that you have your heart in it. You can't say like, I want to go to this college because it's easy. But that no parent will agree, right? Or I want to do this because it's easy in life. But if you really truly believe in something, you go after it. You will get it, and any parent, doesn't matter how they think, will eventually agree to something that you have your heart in. So try to find where your heart is in, and until then, do engineering, it's okay, but keep discovering. You will discover, right? For that, you have to keep having experiences. So keep exploring, reading, trying, meeting people, going places, just explore. Suddenly, something will click, right? This is it. This is what I want. And there may be many of those, and it may change, but that's okay. But try to discover yourself. I would say that's what your personal journey should be. On the professional front, any engineering is okay, any CS is okay, but look for a place with good faculty. Thank you so much.
Let's have a big round of applause for Professor Ramesh. Sir, can I request you to please join us for our panel discussion? One more time, let's have a big round. Everybody, come on, has to be louder. What amazing and inspiring words by Sir today. And now I'd like to call our panelists on stage. I would like to get started with Professor Chittaranjan Hota. He's the Head Computer Science and Information Systems, BITS Pilani, Hyderabad. Can we have him with a big round of applause? He's a Senior Professor of Computer Science at BITS Hyderabad with over 35 years of experience in teaching, research and academic leadership. He holds a PhD in Computer Science from BITS Pilani and an MTech in Computer Science and Engineering from NITTR, Chandigarh, and a BE in Computer Engineering from Amravati MS. Let's have a big round of applause, and I request Shravan sir to please present a bouquet to Professor Chittaranjan Hota. Shravan sir, if I can request you to do the honors, please. We'd like to capture that moment. Shravan sir, we can request you along with Professor Hota to join us in the middle of the stage. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to call our next panelist. We have with us Sushmitha Kale, Human Resource Business Manager for Infosys. She's based in India, currently the lead BPHR for Infosys Technology Limited. Let's have her with a big round of applause, everybody. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am. Can I request Vivek sir to please present a bouquet to Sushmitha Kale. Thank you very much. Can I now request our panelists to please take your seats so that we can start a really interesting panel discussion. So a very warm welcome firstly to this panel discussion of our first session today to all of you. I've got some set of questions to get started. I'll have my very first question to Professor Ramesh. So the first question to you is going to be, how one software engineer or a coder from top university is different from a coder from a non-engineering background?
I mean, see, at the end of the day, if you look at even...
Check.
So,
Check.
At some level, see, if you look at engineering, I mean, somebody would do maybe around 45 courses, 45 to 50 courses over those 4 years. Now, from that, if you take what they're doing in their job, right, maybe 1 or 2 courses are only directly applicable, right? Most of it is foundational knowledge. So it's not like somebody did computer science, so they're better at whatever they're doing, right? If they did 45 courses and in the same 4 years, somebody did just one thing by themselves, right, for 4 years, they would be much better at it than. So it's not about what engineering or whether engineering or not. It's about how much have they invested in that particular, right? If it is, I don't know, if it's a Python to do some machine learning work, how much of Python and machine learning have they done? It's more, right? But that's a very skill-centered view, and I don't believe in that narrow skills, right? Yes, today they might be better than somebody else, but if that's all they know in life, their ability to pick up something is going to be very weak. So it's not about what they know, how they know it is, I feel, more important than what they know. So somebody with non-engineering, if they did the right things, they can be a better person, even in the medium term. In the short term, they may be, but we should look for the medium term. So with your heart, if somebody learns, they will learn better than who went, doesn't matter where they went. Right? The one learning with the heart will learn better.
I think that's a wonderful answer. Let's have a big hand, everybody. My next question is going to be for Professor Chittaranjan Hota. What matters more for a student, sir? Is it the brand value of the college, or is it the branch they choose to study?
Yeah, so there is no universal answer for this particular question. Initially, the brand matters. To survive, maybe you need 2 to 3 years in the industry or wherever you are going and doing any type of job. But in a longer term, say for example 10 to 15 years, what you have learned during your engineering or during your medical or any degree that you have done, and how are you applying those to real world problems and solving societal issues. Are you happy with the work that you are doing over those 10, 15 years matters so much? It is not that if I'm having a degree from IITs, right? So we have, let's say, around 30, 35 IITs, and maybe some 30, 40,000 students are passing out from there, right? Whereas we have around 13 lakh students who are all writing JEE Mains, JEE Advanced, and all those exams. So we can't say that only 30, 35,000 or 50,000 students are all good or best in the India, right? At least you can pick 1.5 to 2 lakh students minimum out of those 13 lakhs who are all at par, right? They all have same mindset, they all have intelligence, they all have a lot of IP within them, they all must have learned their engineering profession very well. So brand value, while it matters, but it is not going to give you a lot of revenue or a lot of money going further, right? You can be from a mediocre or from a tier 2 or tier 3 institute with a BTech and then do a master's or a PhD, right? Or do some strong internships, do some strong industry projects, right? And then establish yourself in your field. I think that would be better rather than simply saying that I am from this IIT, so I can survive. But that number is again 4 to 5%. If you are from an IIT and then you are also good, right, in your own profession and you can generate money, right, you can be an entrepreneur, right, then possibly that has a different value, but not everybody can get into that shoe, right? Thank you.
Let's have a big hand, everybody. I think that's wonderfully curated by sir. Next question for Sushmitha ma'am. From a recruiter's point of view, what makes computer science graduate a job ready today?
Okay, for us, computer science and allied courses are important because of two reasons, right? One, that, these courses actually give them transferable skills. At the end of it, what they study, what they do, to what, especially these courses helps them to be familiar with problems, right? If there's something which is thrown their way, can they adapt themselves? Is it good enough if they are in another domain? Basically, are they curious enough? Do they solve the problems? Because that remains same in any domain. So what is important for us is, do we see those traits when we employ them, right? So that is very important for us from a recruiter standpoint, right? See, at the end of it, there are, we get so many resumes and all of it. And we deal in scale. What differentiates somebody is college, definitely, but then is it necessity? Not, after the first screening, it is not. So we are essentially looking at transferable skills. And, a deal breaker, everybody is technically competent. That's an entry ticket. But what differentiates somebody and what is a deal breaker is a communication skill. At the end of it, we are all in a visual world, right? How do you present yourself? How do you communicate? How do you come across? That is very, very important. And that's something that I want to tell all of you all. While it is very important that you understand your subjects, that's non-negotiable. Your basics have to be very strong. Apart from that, please do invest in yourself. If you make an effort to learn. One of the biggest traits that we see is a learning agility. Do you have that trait? Learnability is very, very high. If you've seen Ramesh sir address, right? Irrespective of what you pick, as long as you have this fire to learn, the hunger to learn, that is a great thing to have. And communication is a silent deal breaker, whether anybody agrees or not. Because you may be excellent in your technical skills, but if you cannot communicate what you want to say, you can't explain somebody what is the process, what went through. It doesn't help, right? Yeah.
Okay, let me put this across to you this way. Now, you have one vacancy for a an engineering graduate. You have one candidate with 95% of the marks, technically very, very skilled, and the other candidate with 80% of the marks. But this guy with the 80% has a superior understanding skills, the communication skills and everything. Which one would you choose as a HR head?
Okay, so as an HR, when we look at it, right, first, most of them are above 90, 95. So, and it's the same college, the same course, everything being the same, right? What differentiates again is How do they communicate what they think? Are they good in problem solving? Can they adapt? More importantly, are they curious to ask a why and what if, right? So for us, at least we hire in scale. And what differentiates for that one opening that we have a lot of openings, but for that one opening, if you have to talk, right? The differentiator is that are they invested in themselves? And do they communicate enough? Very clearly, because, at the end of it, in a college it's different, but in a corporate world, you should be able to put your point across, right? And that comes when you put that effort. Confidence is one part of it. Your competence will give you the confidence to talk. And that's very, very important. So all you kids out there, please ensure that your basics are very, very strong, because no matter where you go, especially when we hire freshers, it's important to have strong fundamentals.
Thank you so much. Let's have a big round of applause, everybody. Coming back to Ramesh, sir, we'd like to know from you, what is the difference between AI and CSE? We've got these questions from the students of Inter First and Inter Second Year. They are very much confused between AI and CSE, and they want to know what is the difference between this. So for them, in simple words, so that they can understand today and take a decision.
The simplest explanation I can give is like, in any college, right, you're likely to find good CS faculty, likely. It's not a sure thing. And you're very, very unlikely to find good AI faculty, right? I don't think you should go beyond that. At the end of the day, it is like whether it is the computer science and electronics, or electronics and mechanical, or computer science and AI. They all have their own set of subjects. There'll be some overlapping subjects, like between computer science and mechanical, there may be less overlap. Between computer science and electronics, there may be more overlap. Computer science and AI, there may be much more overlap. But like I said earlier also, I think if you're doing CS, the sub part of CS doesn't matter at some level, right? And because when you look at it from industry standpoint, nobody's looking for that super specialized, right? If you have good computer science, like just now, Madam Kale said, if your fundamentals are good, you'll pick it up, right? Today it's AI, tomorrow it's something else, right? If your computer science fundamentals are good, engineering fundamentals are good, analytical skills are good, you'll pick up the next technology. So that's not a big, so to that extent, CS or AI doesn't matter. Foundation is CS anyway, so that matters. I think they're too young to understand what is AI, and I don't think they should be burdened with that kind of understanding.
I think that's wonderfully put. So moving on to Professor Chittaranjan, sir, next question is for you. How can students from other than NITs, IIT, IIITs, and top-tier institutions improve their academic depth in computer science? As you rightly said, that we have very few seats in IITs, NITs, and IIITs. What about the other students? How can they actually improve their academic depth? You've got an admission in, say, some other college other than these premier institutions. What should that student do to, improve their academic depth?
Good. As Professor Loganathan also was saying, that when you are doing a degree, let's say from Srinidhi or from CBIT or from Vasavi, right? These are all again tier 2 engineering colleges within Hyderabad. So if you do some BTech from these colleges, right? Maybe in computer science or any of the engineering degree that you are doing, try to ensure that, okay, I'll talk about computer science. There are courses like programming skills, right? Data structures and algorithms, operating systems, DBMS, networks, software engineering. These are all core courses of computer science, right? And if I can now come back and then say something about the previous question where the difference between CS and AI, maybe I'll give a simple analogy. As an engineer, you have built a car, or we all must have seen some of the cars which have a lot of sensors, right? So maybe through that engineering, I'm coming to know whether my fuel tank is 50% empty, or I have to pour petrol into my fuel tank, stopping here in the petrol pump, etc. But nowadays, these Creta and all, the high-end cars, they're all smart cars, right? So a lot of AI has gone into those. The moment you drive your car, maybe slightly not in the center of your road, immediately you'll get a beep, right? So this is basically intelligence, right? So when you, so now when you are doing a degree from any of the non-reputed institutes, right? You ensure that you do the basics of computer science courses very well during your first, second, and third years. and then try to do certain, try to build a profile of your own. Whereas, so how do you do a profile? Say, for example, you take up an internship maybe in IIIT or maybe organizations like us, BITS or IIT, go to some good professor or good lab where you can do a nice internship for 1 or 2 months, right? And you don't need to spend a lot of money to do that. So while doing that, you have to use what you have learned during your BTech on these courses. And all the courses that you do, you should ensure that you have a nice hands-on experience, be it a course on, let's say, operating systems, right? As sir was saying that during those days, they ported the entire operating systems on Indian hardware, right? It's not that easy to do it. You need to learn a lot of system programming basics to do that. So anything that you do in computer science, it is not simple coding. It is all abstract thinking, problem solving, analytical skills, and then trying to apply all that you have learned to solve a real world problem. If you are building your own profile with, let's say there are open source repositories, for example, GitHub, right, where you can have your own profile there, where you can collaborate on an open source project, solve a problem, give your code there, and invite other programmers to solve that problem, right? So people, even we have experienced in our campus, the companies when they come, the HR or the entire placement team of the company, they look in the back end, what is this gentleman's GitHub profile or SourceForge, CodeSafe, they are all open source competitive platforms, right? So you don't need to get addicted into those environments while doing engineering, computer science from non-IT, non-reputed or maybe tier 2 or tier 3 institutes. But yes, you have built a profile so that they know that what you know is solid, what you know is concrete, right? If they ask a very basic question on any of the core courses, you are not fumbling, right? You are not getting into some other area, right? You are answering it correctly. So do internships, do some industry-based projects, and do your core courses well, and maintain a decent CGPA. So when I say decent CGPA, it varies from institute to institute. But to my experience, decent CGPA is around, let's say, 8 and above, 8 to 9 or 8 to 9.2 in a scale of 10. The moment you do, and yes, you have to also participate in a lot of hackathons or competitions that happen all over the India, right? So over the last 5 to 6 years, my experience goes with a lot of government bodies, private bodies, they arrange hackathons. So I was a jury member for a hackathon on, let's say, developing software for legal courts, right? So there were again unknown colleges students who came to the stage and they were explaining their product with a demo. So we all were so impressed, right? And they immediately went back to their college, put into LinkedIn, went into the college website, gave a lot of publicity into those events. So any placement company or the recruiter who looks into these qualities, they'll definitely appreciate you and possibly would like to love you to interact and give a job. So it is not only the courses or the CGPA, it matters how much you know on that, what all experimental aspects, that is how much hands-on you have done on those courses, right? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Moving to Sushmitha ma'am, my next question to you would be, what are the most common reasons for which computer science graduates, they get rejected in interviews?
Okay, thank you for that. So what we see, right, 4 years of education, they have high CGPAs and all of that. And that is one reason when we go for the colleges. What we essentially see is when somebody is up for an interview, written test, no problem. Most of them clear. But when we come to an interview, right, you may have the best of scores and CGPAs. Technically, they are very, very competent. But when we ask basics, that's where they falter, one. Second, they talk about internship, for example. What we see is the idea, the learning, the effort that it went, that they cannot communicate. That is one of the reasons, because if you have done something, you should be able to articulate of what you have done. So that is one. What it tells us is you may have done something, but if you're in a corporate world, it's not about just doing, because technology drives business, right? But who drive technology? It is them, it's people. And if you've done something and you cannot communicate, that's that's a, red flag for us. Third thing is, because everybody are from the same colleges and in all of it, they don't have a clarity of, if you don't have a clarity of thought, right, and you're not curious enough, that's another thing. And like I told earlier, communication will be still a silent deal breaker. So it's important that they do all of it, and most importantly, because all of them are bright minds. I'm sure if they're in a college and they've done it, they're really good. But all they need to do is, articulate what they know. That is important, because if you cannot, then it's going to be difficult. And that for us is going to be no.
Thank you so much. Back to Ramesh sir, our next question to you is, how do core CSE skills translate to allied fields in electronics like VLSI, embedded systems, etc.?
To CS, the other way is probably more easy to CS. CS to VLSI is not easy, right? So I think if somebody is interested in electronics, they should join an EC program, right? CS is by and large very rarely, well, it's such a large industry, right? So very rarely is very, very deep understanding of CS required. But to do something like VLSI, you need deep understanding of EC. So CS to EC is not easy, especially to VLSI and such. EC to CS is not so hard. So if somebody is interested, they should do EC, not CS.
Thank you so much. Check. All right. Back to Professor Chittaranjan sir. My next question to you is, what makes difference in a good computer science engineer versus an average computer science engineer? What's the main difference do you find in them?
Okay. So again, I'll echo back what I was saying in the previous answer. So when you say a good computer science engineer, so computer science is not about coding only, right? It is possibly 20 to 30%. You can say, if you are a computer science engineer, we are talking of engineering, right? So engineering is applying the science into implementation or into the field, right? Where you are building systems. So unless you have programming abilities, or you are a software engineer, you have analytical skills, you have system level thinking skills where you can design systems, right? You can figure out what all components this system needs and why should I put this particular programming language to build this component, what type of interfaces I need to build so that my users will be happy or they will be comfortable with using this product that I have developed, right? All that you need to ensure. If some component goes wrong, what should I do, right? Is there any backup or failure mechanism that I have in my place? So all these a good computer science engineer needs to know. And also he should have a slightly research bent mind, right? Where research bent means these things will come up. Why, how, and for whom I am building this. Unless you have clear answer for all these, right? You cannot make a sound product or a good product which will be useful for the society, right? So again, today a lot of people are using, as sir said, GPT, right? So unless you are a good prompt engineer, unless you know what question I should ask to my chat GPT, I'm not going to get a best answer from it, right? And also I have seen, let's say whenever I use ChatGPT for my class coverage or class content, I initially try to confuse GPT, right? By using the nice set of prompts. And then finally after 3 or 4 interactions, GPT will give me the correct answer, right? So a good computer science engineer needs to know a lot of things, right? As I said, system design, analytics, programming, abstraction. That is problem-solving skills also using those abstractions, all right? And let's say if I have a computer which is having multiple cores, multiple CPUs, how do I ensure that at least 70% of those cores are working, right? Not necessarily only one core is running my programs. Whereas an average computer science engineer, if he is good at, let's say, programming, right? And he is good at few other courses, right? He can simply, see, if you cut down 30-40% of capabilities of the strong computer science engineer, an average computer science engineer can still survive. So let's say in our place, when we talk of good computer science engineers and this, so somebody who has gone into a Google Summer of Code, he has some profile there, right? So a company like Google or Microsoft or NVIDIA, right? Those who are all paying 40-50 lakhs per year, they all would look curiously, this candidate, and they ask, what have you built in this, right? So that is a good, some computer science engineers profile. Whereas average computer science engineers, they must have done their courses, they must have done all their labs, right? And they might not have done something extraordinary in either hostel or in somewhere else through which they can project themselves as a critical thinker. So possibly, but still, those people also get around, let's say, 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs, let's say, salary package per year. So that's how we can distinguish these two.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. Back to Sushmitha ma'am. Do companies care about the college names while hiring freshers? If yes, how much?
College name, yes, it matters, but after that, right, see that college name, because we have seen the quality of students, it's easier. It reduces a lot of our operational efficiency when we go, because when we hire at scale, that's what we need. But it is just an entry ticket, but not a selection criteria. So when we do, while we go to good colleges, we also open it up for off-campus hiring. And we do get surprisingly good talent. So college name will only get it to an extent, but does it guarantee a job? May not be. But that is totally dependent on the student or the candidate that we look at. So a good college is like you get a pass, for a front row seat. But beyond that, it is absolutely a candidate's effort.
And that's wonderfully said. Thank you so much for that. Back to Ramesh, sir. My question to you. You work very closely, as a dean, you work very closely with this younger generation today. While I was in my college, or I was getting into engineering, we only had one option that for an undergraduate engineering course, you stay in Hyderabad or you stay in India and you do your engineering course and then go for a master's. But what we are seeing today with the generation, beta, alpha, or Gen Zs, to be honest, they want to do their undergraduate courses also outside India. What do you have to say about this? What do they prefer?
No, absolutely not needed, right? Absolutely not needed. I always say this. I think the master's experience, the university experience, I think in US or Europe, especially US, we are more familiar with US, is very different. It's an experience worth having. Right, masters in India also is okay, but I think the university system much more evolved, much older universities, and I think that experience is definitely good, but not for undergrad. For undergrad, I mean, it's not worth it. I mean, that's an age. I mean, as parents, I mean, when my son wanted, I told him, look, you want to go, you have to go to, you pick, you get into any of the top 20 universities, you can go. If you can't get into top 20 universities in India, any IIT is okay if you want to go. Otherwise, you'll be in Hyderabad. I was very clear. And you're not writing for IIT anyway, so he joined BITS, by the way, it's a BITS Salam. And I said, if you're going to be away from us and spending all that money, it has to be really, really worth it. Which means if in the top universities, maybe it's okay. Even that is not necessary. I think not now, right? I mean, it's been so last few years, been so for last several decades. People that do undergrad here go on to do very, very well in life if they go to US for masters. Masters is an experience worth having, I would think, right? It's by and large, it's an experience worth having. Undergrad, I don't see any value in doing it outside. And especially if you're going to spend all that money and be away at that age, away from home and in a different country, I don't think it's worth it.
I think that will make a life easier for a lot of students and the parents who are confused. Thank you so very much for that answer. Moving back to Professor Chittaranjan, sir, from your perspective, how is BITS Pilani different from other engineering institutions, especially for for all the students? How all the campus of BITS, say Pilani, Hyderabad, and wherever BITS has campuses, how is it different from other engineering colleges?
Thank you. So I think it's a very tough question for me. But I'll try to answer based on all my 25 years of experience in BITS. So I think everybody, whether he's a student, maybe a boy or a girl, a faculty like me, or our administrators, maybe a director, dean, or our chancellor, Mr. Birla, we take a lot of pride in our organization, right? So I now, surprisingly, when I spoke to madam, so we all three have a common thread, right? All our children have read from BITS. My sons are also from BITS, her son also was my student, and madam's son is also in Pilani now, right? Doing a dual degree. So, any student, if you ask, even a faculty like me, at the end we all say BITS is a magic, right? So let's say there is one feature that you talk, attendance is not compulsory or mandatory. A student can graduate without attending even a single class, provided he is competent enough, he is scoring maybe above average or high. So I will not stop him from not getting A, right? If he deserves A without coming to my class, I'm okay with that. So we have a lot of features. And then one good thing that we are doing, I also manage admissions over last 20-25 years. We don't have any reservation in our admissions, right? So through that what happens, anyone who qualifies BITSAT, earlier it was board toppers who were coming to BITS. So you get a peer group who are all homogeneous, right? If you look into their parents' income, right, or their living style, living standard, the way they speak, as Madam was saying, communication is a very important parameter. So I have seen even people coming from Vijayawada, coming from Warangal, or any of the Telangana, Andhra states, right? And they must have come from Pidgey, Alain, Resonance, all, Narayana Chaitanya and all. From the third or fourth day within the college, they all speak English, right? Whether when they go to, let's say, playground, they go to mess, they go to academic blocks, they all speak in English, right? And within 6 or 7 months, you will find that boy is communicative, he is able to express his thoughts and all that. And as I said, attendance is not compulsory. It does not mean that our graduates are all going with 6 CGPA or 7 CGPA, right? I teach a course on, let's say, AI or DSA, or we get around 300 registrations for our course, right? And it is single teacher with 4 or 5 teaching assistants. If you see how many are scoring above 9.5, definitely it will be around 20 to 25 out of that 100, right? So there is a strong competition amongst that peer group. So our attendance is merit-based, right? And we have also another component which is very strong in BITS, that is called as industry engagement. So this is called as a practice school. During my own engineering, I have not seen also 40 years back. And I think NEP today, if you see, National Education Policy, which was framed in 2020, they copied a lot of our features. And our features also evolved over a period of 65 years, because we were initially handled by MIT, right? So a lot of features we inherited from there, and then we continuously updated those. So that industry engagement, where institute arranges a practice school for everyone, and during that practice school, a student goes to an industry, and all top companies they take, right? Even NVIDIA takes, this year NVIDIA has taken around 65 students, and their internship money that they pay is around 75 to 80,000 per month, right, to those graduates. So this is again on a based on merit, so this is also a good feature. And of course, we have a strong alumni network, right? I think 10 years back, we were not that serious about what this current government has put all of us into a highlighting mode, right? You have to market well your products. So unless you catch hold of your alumni rightly, right, you can't get some sponsorship, you can't get, let's say I have come here, right? It is not that I am coming here, I was knowing, let's say, Jha sir well, right? Because maybe 15 years back when I was looking for my elder son's coaching institute, right? He was a PhD student, but then I was wanting to give him something extra. So he was the Vision 40 head during that time. So I had come to Professor Jha, and he was doing all those, right? So we have a strong alumni network, right? And I think a lot of unicorns, right? The startups that have been funded, they're all, maybe Phanindra Sama, who was the technical advisor to Mr. KTR and the previous government, he was also one of our alumnus, right? So we have a strong alumni network. I think, now I think we are going also to one more campus in 2027 to Amravati to open up one more campus, which is specifically for AIML, right, with 4 or 5 degrees. So that's how BITS is completely unique, I would say, in the sense of offering an engineering degree. And one more thing you can see there, let's say yesterday I was having a project presentation of my 15 project students, one-to-one interaction. A boy from mechanical impressed me by speaking for half an hour on biology, application of biology to computer science and ECE. I was very impressed. He was a mechanical student. So we actually try to bring in not necessarily only IT or CS, a mechanical engineering student, a civil engineering student, a chemical engineering student. or a science student, MSc Physics, MSc Maths, MSc Chemistry, they also can get those soft skills, right? A lot of English, literature, international relations, a lot of courses are there, a lot of industry-related interface is also there, and they can also take up their interested engineering courses through open electives. So you can basically build an overall or all-round personality or engineer from our place, which is very less likely, or chances are less in other where you have confined, because we also follow UGC and AICTE rules. It's not that we don't follow. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think I'll continue that question to you. So, Satya Nadella from Microsoft and Sundar Pichai from Google. They're not both from the computers background. You know, as far as we know, Satya Nadella is from the electrical engineering background. Sundar Pichai is from metallurgy background. So, but they're leading the biggest software companies of the world today. Can students also do this? For example, somebody gets into some course. At the end of 4 years, he realizes, no, I want to shift something. What are your thoughts on that? Do you have to be from the same background to lead a company?
Yeah, so I think on that front, see, these two people, the names that you said, they are all, they have done their engineering, the bachelor's very solidly, right? Whatever degrees they have got, maybe metallurgy or the EC, right? He was from Manipal, the Nadella, right? But Manipal is also equally respected college. It is not that Manipal, Amrita, VIT, they all are doing also a good service to the nation, right? So he did his bachelor's from there. And of course, he was son of a IAS or a UPSC civil servant. So, he was also having a lot of IP to survive himself when they all went to US. But it is not based on purely their bachelor's degree. The amount of exposure both of them they got. So let's say the entire cloud business was all started by Nadella, right? Satya Nadella, and he had a lot of contributions there. When you hear him, any of the presentations that he make, whether in India or abroad, it is amazing, right? You will believe that, oh, he has enough strength. So they are all continuously updating their knowledge. It is not that they are, yes, they may not be able to answer a very basic OS question. You don't need that, right? To become a leader, you need to have a larger mindset, right? You need to find out what are the relations between different components, how business runs, right? What all area you should jump so that you can generate a lot of revenue for your business. So it is both Pichai and Nadella are into that. So anywhere they go, today's date, whether you do it from a top-rated college or from a average college, doesn't matter. But your skill set, as Madam was saying, is utmost important. And if you are good with your basic engineering skills, and you have built up a nice profile, right? Profile in the sense you have at least a 2-page bio of your own with what all things you have done, and then you are able to sufficiently defend that, why you have done, right? And you are able to convince the opponent party or the person who is interacting with you. Definitely you have a chance to, and getting into that stage is nothing but managerial skills, managing people. So they're all good managers. I think anyone can do. It is not that only those two guys can do. So there are many Indians nowadays, because the current government, we are all getting into globalization, right? We are allowing foreign universities to come here. This year, I think a lot of announcements have happened. So even India also Indian universities are also going abroad. So one of the universities that we started first in 2000, that was our Dubai campus, which is having a stall there outside, right? So BITS Dubai. But of course, the admission process to BITS Dubai is a different one, maybe based on your +2 scores and all those. So now I think after we went, a lot of other colleges went. Now even IITs are also going there. So today, if you say that I am coming from a mediocre university, but I can't build a company, I cannot become an entrepreneur, or I cannot generate wealth, I think sir already told his daughter and her group, they're already doing a lot of industry-related activity, right? So I think anyone can do. Not necessarily it is only top-tier institute fellows can do only the industries. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Check. All right. Ma'am, last question to you in interest of time. We'll have the final question coming your way. Which skills should engineering students start building from the first year to stay relevant in the industry? And how important are internships for a fresh computer science graduate?
Okay, the skills necessarily will be the behavioral and transferable skills, like we said, because why do we say computer science? It's a safer option, it's a secure option. Why? Because they are inclined towards problem solving, analytical, building solutions. So basically that gives them an edge, right? Because when they know all of it, irrespective of the domain, all of this you can apply elsewhere. So today, after finishing 4 years, you want to do something else. Because you have a strong background already, it is easier for you to shift domains. When it comes to internships, right, for us, it's a big thing. It's personally, I think it's a career multiplier. Why? Because when you have two students, one did internships, what does it essentially mean is that they're making an effort. They know how it works in an outside industry. They're more aware of what happens. So for example, what does it take, right, to do an internship? One, you have an intent to learn. You are working in groups. You are ensuring that you're learning from your mistakes. So if you're making a mistake, which is a good thing because you learn from it, right? And you have a learning mindset above all, right? So internships is all about you're investing your time. I'm sure all of them are on social media everywhere, but they're able to make the time for themselves because they are invested. So it is all about when we look at a resume, right? When we see an internship, it says it's an edge, it's content. They've done something, and that is easier when we get into a corporate world because they know how to work in groups, they know how to communicate, they know how to talk, they know, they have been through the learning. More importantly is, they would have some feedback about the project. So all of this are skills required when they get onto corporate world, right? So internships is a big plus. Please, all kids out there, it's a career multiplier. Get yourself internships, like Sir said, hackathons, open source contributions. Keep yourself relevant because that's going to differentiate you from hundreds out there. So, and it also means that they're the hunger for learning. And learning ability is the biggest plus that we see when we hire, because everybody starts on the same, everybody is a graduate, everything else is same. What differentiates one from the other, because, how do they do is learning ability, learning agility is something that we really, really look for, and that translates into an internship you have done, right? So that's very, very important for us. And it gives you an edge. It's that plus that gets you there.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am. With this, I think it will only be fair if we have some questions from our students. They've been looking to ask you some questions. Can we have the first question, please?
Good morning, sir and ma'am. Myself, Ayush from Gurukul campus. I would like to ask you all about mechatronics and robotics engineering. How's it about?
Sorry?
Mechatronics and robotics.
I mean, I'm at the risk of repeating, I will say it again. See, computer science is a foundational skill, right? AI is a higher level, robotics is even kind of higher levels, right? So, mechatronics and robotics are both interdisciplinary skills, right? CS department is not the best one to do it. It is interdisciplinary. So where there's a good robotics group or a research group, they're generally interdisciplinary. So I would say, even if you're interested, don't pick a robotics course. I don't know if anybody is offering at undergrad level. Find an institution where they have a good robotics lab, right? Because anywhere you go, doesn't matter what you do. If you're really, really interested, go to that lab and ask the professor, I want to do something with you. If you're interested, they will take you and make you do something, right? So find a place where there's a good robotics group. And mechatronics in India, unfortunately, is not very strong, right? IIIT, our robotics research center ranks top 1 or 2 in Asia. But we do robotic intelligence work. We don't do the mechatronics work, unfortunately, right? Because we are primarily an IT-centered institution, so we don't have mechanical on campus, though there's a professor there who's very good in mechanical in the robotics lab. But as a strength, the institutional strength is more on the computer science side. So while we are very strong in robotics, it's more on robotic intelligence and not on the mechatronics. So if you're really interested in mechatronics, find a college that has a very good robotics lab, and not a lab that has humanoid robo is not the best lab. That's not the indication of if they're good or not. Can they create a humanoid robo, right, from a mechatronics standpoint? Can they create robotic arms, right? Can they kind of check for that and then join a good institution where they have a strong robotics lab? But don't join a robotics program. It's too narrow, because you may change. Second year, third year, you might say, like, I like something else. So keep that option open. So join a place where there's a good robotics lab, do projects and internships there in that lab maybe, but take a broader computer science course. That would be my advice.
Thank you so much, sir. The next question, please.
Good morning, sir. Myself, N. Gautam Krishna from Gurukul campus. Good morning, ma'am. Sir, the question that I have is, sir, is computer science field suitable for all students? And what are the basic skills that one requires to succeed in this field?
I mean, see, there's nothing like suitability, right? We're all good, I'm sure. Even those that pick biology or even commerce in 11th and 12th probably are good in physics and maths, right? They don't pick something else because they're not good in something, right? They often pick something because they like it. Like I always say, be aware of math background helps, right? Little bit of physics helps. But interest in those areas is more important. So, but computer science is little less intense math-wise, say, compared to mechanical or other disciplines. So I would think that way computer science is relatively easier from a foundation knowledge standpoint. Some of the other areas need more deeper math and such, which computer science by and large doesn't need. So I wouldn't think there's any particular skill required. So you want to add something?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so let me, I think, add to what sir has said. So if you have an aptitude of problem-solving skills, right? Given a problem, how are you solving it? Are you solving it in a mediocre fashion or in the best possible fashion or in a very average fashion, right? So what could be a problem? Let's say your problem is your parents say that, okay, this month we don't want to run the house, right? Boy or girl, you please come, and then I'm giving you now 30,000 rupees. You manage the entire expenses of this house this month, right? If they tell you to do that, how are you going to achieve it? How are you going to keep your parents happy? How are you going to keep your entire family happy, right? On that particular month. What all constraints you should use, right? How will you solve it? Which vendor you will approach to get those products, right? What your house needs. So if you are a good problem solver, and of course you have a good background in your physics and maths, not necessarily very strong background, right? If you can solve these problems by applying your brain, right? Logical thinking. So logic plays also an important role, right? If I can solve any problem in my day-to-day life, definitely I can write a program and I can ask my computer to solve that, which we all have done maybe 30, 40 years ago. But nowadays, you are having a lot of other tools, a lot of applications, a lot of AI/ML stuff where you don't need to do that, right? Use all those stuff, right? Maybe to come to this particular stage today with a lot of questions, right? I yesterday went maybe in the night for 5 or 10 minutes to GPT to ask, please give me answers. So GPT gave some 10 pages, 20 pages answers. But yes, so a lot of tools now are available. If you want to become a computer science engineer, your life will be very smooth and easy. But you should know how to write those tools, how to use those tools, right? Are you able to generate money out of what work you are doing? So your problem solving skills, if it is good, and you should have also passion, interest, all those. Then you can be a good computer science engineer.
Please.
Sir, I'm Saraswati. So my question is, how should students balance learning strong basics and new and fast-changing technologies?
I will again go back to what I just said. Do it out of love and not out of fear, right? I don't think you should worry too much about being left out. It's okay, right? I mean, all of us have only so many hours in a day, and when there are a million things happening all around us, stay abreast, be aware of what's happening. Like supposing like today, like 4 years back, there was ChatGPT, today there are other things. I would say just scan, be aware of what's happening, but some things that you like, drill down deeper, right? Something that you like, one topic, one area, one subject, whatever it is, like based on interest, drill down deeper. Otherwise, don't worry. I don't think you should be afraid of being left out, right? Do something you love. That's more important. If you can pick one thing that you like, when the need arises, you'll pick something else also, right? I think so. Don't worry about being left out. Don't worry about what skills are required. But just be aware of what's happening. So don't get stuck to your books, right? You should be aware of what's happening. Generally scan the internet, just be aware of what's happening. Listen to people, talk to people. Be aware, but I don't think you should be afraid of being kind of left out or missing out something.
So if I add, first thing that you all should do as students of maybe 12th pass out students, you should reduce your screen time, right? Mobile that you use, you should use half an hour, 1 hour for browsing, for doing social networking, all that stuff. Remaining time, you can of course use mobile for receiving calls, right? That's a big problem in our young people nowadays because of a lot of distractions or distortions which are happening from all over the globe. That is one. And then you should, whatever courses you are doing, right, during your BTech or whatever profession you choose, you should ensure that every course, maybe it is a Gandhian thoughts or Bhagavad Gita, right? Can you practice some of those principles that you have learned? Or can you experiment some of those things that you are learning through those courses, right? So that you try to, so don't do anything which would stress, right? And then of course make a peer group of 3 to 4 friends, talk to them every day or every week or every month, at least 1 hour, 2 hours. So make a scheduled life. Have some purpose of the life. That it is not that I want to earn 2 crores, 3 crores in next 5, 10 years. No, not necessary, right? If you are earning, let's say 2 to 3 lakhs in first 5 or 6 years, monthly salary, I think in India you can still survive. So ensure that whatever you do, be it computer science or electronics or mechanical, you are feeling happy on what you are doing, okay?
Yeah, one more thing, Saraswati, and this for everybody else as well. Whatever you pick up, please be good at it. Because that's very, very important because, you know, when you talk about it, you should understand it as well. And the more you understand, the better you can articulate. So any skill for that matter that you pick up, please ensure that you really are good at what you're doing. Work in groups because that's again very, very important. Even if you pick up a hobby or anything, just ensure that you're good at what you're doing and everything else will follow. Or what you think today, you know, please, all of you, careers are non-linear. What it was 20 years back, it is not like that anymore. It's very non-linear, customizable. So just don't worry about what's in there. As long as you are doing what you're doing and doing very well, that should take care of everything else.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And one last question from our students.
Good morning, sir. I'm Vaishnavi from Himayatnagar campus. My question for you is, nowadays, BTech students, due to lack of clarity, they end up choosing the wrong course, and then they later on realize and end up getting backlogs and get in the loop of like, what would my parents think or anything else. In that case, what should they, like, you know, think of exactly to get out of that loop due to lack of clarity? And yeah.
No, it's a tough thing. I think, like Professor Hota said, we get so stuck. Screen time is one kind of thing. Even being stuck with books also for too long is not good. You need to go out, fresh air, play, meet friends, right? Read something else, watch some TV. There should be some diversity of activity. So this is, more than answering the student, I would like to address the parents. I think, yes, 12th and is very important, but it's not the be-all, end-all of life, right? If Satya Nadella thought, like, I didn't get into an IIT, so my life is gone, I mean, he would not be where he is today. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities and like, but we put so much pressure on our kids. I don't think any kid should feel this way. You should not feel this way. You just, at some level, it's okay. So long as you're taking it seriously, you're putting good effort, don't worry much about what others are thinking, right? Yes, parents matter. Anybody else, don't worry. Parents alone, just have a conversation. If you're feeling pressured, just talk to them. No parent wants to put their child through, like, sometimes the pressure might happen without realizing there is pressure. So I would say talk to your parents. And to all the parents, I would say please observe the kids. 12th is extremely stressful in all respects, right? Parents put pressure, family puts pressure, schools put pressure, right? Peer pressure, right? And that age already is a very uncertain age. That they're going through so much of, right? Their whole thought process, everything is in a very transformative phase. At that stage, so much pressure is not good. Please observe, look for signs when the child is not looking good. Please have a conversation. Don't wait for them to start. That would be my advice to the parents.
Vaishnavi, just want to add, confusion at this stage is absolutely normal. What it means is that you're thinking. So just don't get bogged down and just be good at what you're doing and don't ever stop learning. These two will get you places. Just ensure that you keep learning yourself, because when we hire, right, we look at that learnability. Can this person learn, relearn, unlearn? So just keep learning, and if confused, it's absolutely okay. You'll figure it out.
So I think I'll give you some tips, because you have done now your +2 from a very reputed coaching institute, right? This Resonance, Allen, Pidgey is no more now. I think they have problems, right? Narayana Chaitanya, all these are good institutes. As you have done your degree from this place, and you do not have any affinity towards a particular engineering branch, normally people take based on, let's say, if my uncle, right? Somebody in the family is a mechanical engineer, or my parents are mechanical engineer, I would love to be mechanical engineering, right? So people take in that side or that way. If you do not have anybody like that, what you do is you give all your competitive exams, maybe JEE Mains, JEE Advanced, BITSAT, VIT, Amrita, at least 5 or MSET, 5 or 6 competitive exams you give. Then you see where are you standing, because you will do equally good in all those, right? Your performance will be at par in all those places. If you are doing bad in one, possibly you will do also bad in few more. So based on what rank you are getting, into which institute you are going, once that is decided, right, which branch of course you are going, if your parents might tell, no, take this particular engineering, right? Maybe computer science or EEE, EC, etc. And if you do not have anything specific, right, that I want mechanical, then you go by your parents what they are saying, because they might be using their own knowledge, right, knowledge base or their own intuition to help you to choose a branch. But if you have a strong argument where you can convince your parents, no, don't tell me to take EC, CS, I want to take mechanical because I want to grow in this mechanical engineering field and I want to do in future this particular thing. So you take that path. Once you come to a particular engineering in your first year, stick to certain basics. Basics are, by your CGPA should remain as decent, right? As I said, see the environment in which you are reading and then try to get those capabilities, right, competencies as you progress. And don't worry right now at first year or second year, hey, will I get into Google or Microsoft or some top company? Don't worry about all those. They all will come as a byproduct of what you have done over these 4 years. If you have done your work above average, I think I'm sure that you will not fall behind getting a good salary or leading a good life. So the purpose of life should be to acquire happiness, not luxury or not money, not wealth. While you achieve those, right, try to get this first. How should I stay happy or content, right? What I'm doing is good. I think let me not worry about what others are doing. If I'm driving with a Maruti 800, that is enough for me, right? For that, I should get it rightly in my profession. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Any closing remarks from you, sir, as we close this panel discussion?
No, I think just echoing what Professor Hota just said, I think the age is such, the stage of life is such, and the environment, society is such. Not just here, the world over, 12th is important, right? In US, it's 11th, not 12th, because you apply after 11th. So what they do in 12th doesn't matter, because 11th, until 11th, it really matters, because you apply based on that. So in US, the pressure is more in 11th than in 12th. There's worry in 12th, but the pressure is in 11th. For us, our pressure is in 12th. But I think we still do put undue pressure on our kids. I think the system is such, there's very little diversity of channels to get in. Like you have this, like Sir mentioned, there were 3-4 exams only you could write to get into engineering. And one bad, it is these days you can take multiple times, so which is a good thing at least, right? You're not, on one day, how you did doesn't determine the next several years of your life. So at least that's one good thing, right? But I would say, it's okay, I will still repeat, 12th engineering or beginning of your undergrad is not the be-all end-all of life. It's just one stepping stone. There are many more steps, and like you can, like Satyanarayana is a good example, right? You keep doing goods, right? Follow your heart and learn to learn, right? Keep learning, and just heart and some effort is more important. Don't feel pressured. That would be my, just follow the heart.
Thank you so much, sir. Ma'am, any closing remarks from your end?
Nothing. Keep learning, stay relevant, and enjoy what you have studied, and study well. That's it. One is very clearly strong in basics. That's what will help. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Sir, any remarks from your end?
I think I have told a lot. I think all of us have told a lot. So we all wish you all good luck for your admissions that you are going to make in next maybe 1 or 2 months. Maybe by February 12th or so, you'll get your JEE Mains results, right? And don't stress a lot. Go for seeing a movie. Go for outing with parents. Go for taking foods in good restaurants. All that you do, right? And I think good luck to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I think that was a very insightful panel discussion. I'll just take few more minutes of your time. We had an exam called Mega Reso Fast, and the achievers from that were promised that we will be handing over tablets to the students, and some of the achievers are here with us today. So I'll just take few more minutes of your time and call upon the winners, and we request you to please present the tablets to them. Let's get started with the list of winners. Mohammad Akira Shahreen, Resonance School, Attapur. Can we have you on stage, please? Can I also request our director, Purna Chandra Rao, sir, the man behind all this, to please join us on stage, join our dignitaries on stage in doing this honor. Also, the next session will start in another 5 minutes from now, so please be seated. Next is going to be Peravali Ashwath. So that's the tablet with resonance promised, and it is going away to the winner. Congratulations to the achiever. The next session, ladies and gentlemen, will start in 5 minutes. Please be seated. Thank you. Next is Peravali Ashwath to kindly join us on stage. Collect your tablet, and congratulations. Congratulations to Ashwath. Next is Pasila Prateek. Pasila Prateek to join us on stage. Congratulations. Next is Srivalli Bhushan Kohli. Srivalli Bhushan Kohli. Congratulations, Srivalli, to join us next, please, along with the parent. Next, I request P. Sudhansh to line up on stage. Help us save some time. Thank you. Next will be Pusunala Sudhansh. Pusunala Sudhansh. Next will be Kritu Sai Challa to be ready next. Kritu Sai Challa to be ready. Come quick. Help us save some time. Thank you. Next will be Pavati Tanvi. P. Tanvi to come next. All right, Tanvi, run and collect your tablet and your award. Congratulations. Next will be Manasvi Rupani. Manasvi Rupani to be ready next on stage. Congratulations, and Rupani walks on stage, getting ready to collect her tablet and the award. Next will be Palati Nitisha. Be ready next on stage. Nitisha to join us on stage next, followed by Jogu Sai Shrestha. Jogu Sai Shrestha to line up next, please. Thank you. And the last one, Jogu Sai Shrestha walking on stage. I would now like to request our Director Sir, Purna Chandra Rao Sir, to felicitate our keynote speaker and our panel members. So requesting Purna Chandra Rao Sir. So let's get started with Ramesh Sir, our keynote speaker. Let's have a big round of applause for Ramesh Sir, everybody, for that wonderful, insightful talk as well as the panel discussion. Thank you so much, Ramesh Sir, for your time today. I think this will go a long way in helping them shaping their future. Next, I request Purna Sir to kindly felicitate Professor Chittaranjan Hota, BITS Pilani, Dean Academics. So thank you so much for coming today and blessing us all with those insightful experiences. And now request Purna Sir to felicitate Sushmitha ma'am, Human Resource Business Manager, Infosys. She's taken her time out from her busy corporate schedule today on a Sunday, joining us out here and giving us those wonderful insights on how to crack your interview when you get there. Thank you so very much. Can I also request Jha Sir and Zonal Academic to please join us on stage for a group picture. Thank you so much. Can I also request all zonal heads to please join us on stage quickly? Thank you. Can I request all the students to please take your seats? The next session is starting very, very shortly. Students, please take your seats. Do not have a lot of movement in the hall, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. And those of the students who are waiting for the second session, we request you to kindly join us inside the hall and grab your seats. The second session is starting in 5 minutes from now. Thank you. All right, all our friends who are waiting for the second session to begin, we're starting in 5 minutes from now. Can we request you to please grab your seats? The second session is about to start in 5 minutes from now. So that'll conclude our first session today. Thank you so very much, everybody. Second session will begin in 5 minutes from now. Requesting all those who are here for the second session to please join us.
It is our privilege to have all the panel members here today. I also want to share one small happy news. Ma'am is also our parent as well. So the kid is also studying with us. Thank you so much for joining us today, ma'am.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, requesting all those who are waiting for the second session, it's starting in 5 minutes from now. Please be seated. In next 5 minutes, we shall begin the second session on the stage. Thank you very much.